For the day started like any other, with the sun rising gently over the horizon, casting a warm glow on the city. I remember sipping my morning coffee, enjoying the tranquil moment before the day's chaos unfurled. But tranquility was short-lived. Without warning, the sky darkened, a shadow creeping over the earth as if the sun had decided to hide. I looked up, puzzled, and that's when I saw them. Massive ships, unlike anything I'd ever seen, slicing through the sky's canvas. They were silent, menacing, and utterly alien. My heart raced, a mix of fear and disbelief taking hold. This couldn't be happening, I thought. Yet there they were, an undeniable reality breaking through Earth's atmosphere, their intentions unknown. The initial shock hit everyone like a tidal wave. News channels were ablaze with live footage, anchors struggling to maintain composure while delivering the impossible news. Alien ships were invading Earth. It sounded like something out of a science fiction novel, yet here it was, unfolding in real time. Governments worldwide issued emergency broadcasts, urging calm and promising action. But what could be done against a force that had traversed the stars to reach us? A panic ensued. Streets filled with people trying to flee, to find safety, though no one knew where safety could possibly be under such circumstances. I remember standing in my living room, glued to the TV, watching the chaos unfold. My phone was ringing off the hook, friends and family reaching out, seeking comfort, or perhaps looking to me for answers I didn't have. But the uncertainty was paralyzing. We were so used to being the dominant species, the masters of our own planet, yet in an instant, we were reduced to mere spectators of our fate, powerless and insignificant. But as the initial panic subsided, something remarkable happened. A sense of unity began to take root, a collective determination to face whatever came our way. Governments put aside their differences, forming alliances with unprecedented speed. Scientists and military strategists worked together, pooling resources and knowledge in a desperate bid to understand and counter the alien threat. It was humanity at its best, coming together in the face of the unknown. I joined a local community group, one of many that sprang up overnight. We organized supply drives, shelters, and communication networks. It wasn't much in the grand scheme of things, but it felt good to be doing something, to be part of a community fighting back in whatever small way we could. The fear was still there, lurking in the back of my mind, but it was overshadowed by a sense of purpose, of not going down without a fight. Then came the day we'd all been dreading. The aliens made their move. It wasn't an all-out assault like many had feared, but a series of strategic strikes against military bases and power plants, crippling our defenses and infrastructure. Surrender or be destroyed. But they had underestimated us, underestimated our resilience and our unwillingness to give up our home without a fight. The counterattack was nothing short of miraculous. Using hacked alien technology and sheer human ingenuity, we launched a guerrilla war against the invaders. It was a David versus Goliath scenario, with every small victory celebrated like a major battle won. I volunteered to help with the communications, relaying messages between units and spreading news of our resistance efforts. The world was watching, and for the first time since the invasion began, there was hope. It was during one of these missions that I had my first and only encounter with an alien. Our team had been ambushed, and in the chaos, I found myself face to face with one of them. It was wounded, its suit damaged, and for a moment, we just stared at each other. I saw something in its eyes, not malice, but a kind of resignation, a realization that they too had underestimated their opponent. I don't know why, but I helped it, applying a makeshift bandage to its wound before disappearing into the rubble. I like to think that act made a difference, however small, in how the rest of the conflict unfolded. The war dragged on, but the tide had turned. With each passing day, humanity reclaimed a little more of its planet, a testament to our determination and spirit. And when the alien fleet finally withdrew, leaving behind a battered but unbowed Earth, we knew we had achieved the impossible. We had faced an alien invasion and emerged victorious. In the aftermath, the world changed. We were united like never before, aware of our place in the cosmos and the need to protect our home at all costs. The alien technology left behind propelled us into a new era of technological advancement. But the greatest lesson was one of resilience, of what humanity could achieve when faced with the unthinkable. As I look back on those dark days, I'm filled with a sense of pride and a bit of awe at what we accomplished. We weren't ready for the aliens when they came, but we adapted, We fought, and we won. And though I hope never to see such times again, I know that if tested, humanity will always rise to the occasion, for when aliens tried to invade Earth, they weren't ready for us. I remember the day the message arrived, as if the universe itself had sent us a chilling wake-up call. It was a regular Tuesday evening, the city bustling with the usual noise and fervor of life. Then, suddenly, every screen around the world flickered to life with the same ominous broadcast. The aliens' message was stark, devoid of any empathy. They viewed Earth as nothing more than a stepping stone, its inhabitants an easy conquest. Their intentions were clear: submit or be subjugated. The voice, synthetic and cold, echoed through the streets, a declaration of their perceived supremacy. It was a moment that could have broken us, sending our world spiraling into despair. But it didn't. Instead, something remarkable happened. The threat ignited a fire within the human spirit, a burning defiance that spread faster than fear could. In the face of annihilation, petty squabbles and long-standing disputes seemed trivial. Families held each other a little tighter. Neighbors who had never spoken shared words of encouragement, and rival nations opened channels of communication, their common enemy uniting them in a way peace talks never had. In the days that followed, the initial chaos gave way to a unified determination. I saw firsthand the transformation within my own community. The local gym became a makeshift training center where retired veterans taught self-defense techniques. Schools transformed into strategic meeting places where people of all walks of life shared ideas and resources. It was as if the entire fabric of society was being rewoven, stronger and more resilient than before. I volunteered at a local communication hub where I witnessed the true power of humanity's diversity. Linguists worked alongside cryptographers to decipher any additional messages from our invaders, while engineers and scientists collaborated on ways to bolster our defenses using whatever technology was at our disposal. It was a symphony of human ingenuity, each person contributing their unique skills towards a common goal. The unity was palpable, a shared resolve that transcended borders and languages. It was during this time that I truly understood the value of humanity's diversity. Our differences, once a source of division, became our greatest strength. The variety of perspectives and approaches enriched our strategies, making us unpredictable and adaptable. We were no longer American, Russian, Chinese, or Brazilian. We were Earthlings, fighting for our home, for our very existence. As the reality of the situation set in, so did a profound sense of purpose. We were writing our own story, one not of defeat but of resilience and courage. The streets, once filled with the noise of everyday life, now resonated with the sounds of preparation and unity. People shared what they had, from food to knowledge, ensuring that no one was left wanting. It was a testament to the human capacity for compassion and cooperation in the face of adversity. A message from the aliens, intended to intimidate and subdue, had instead sparked a global awakening. We realized that our planet, with all its beauty and diversity, was worth fighting for. The Earth, our home, was not just a piece of rock in the vast expanse of space. It was a living, breathing entity that nurtured us, and we were its guardians. As the day of the anticipated invasion drew closer, the world stood as one. We had prepared as best as we could, but more than that, we had rediscovered what it meant to be human. The fear of what was to come still lingered, but it was overshadowed by a collective sense of hope and determination. We were ready to defend our home, to show our invaders that Earth was not an easy target, that its people were not to be underestimated. Looking back, the message that threatened our very existence also served as a catalyst for unity and growth. It reminded us of the importance of standing together, of the strength found in our diversity, and the unbreakable human spirit. No matter the outcome, we had already achieved something remarkable. We had shown that when faced with the unimaginable, humanity could rise above, united and strong. It was a lesson I hoped we would carry forward, long after the shadow of invasion had passed. As the reality of our situation became clear, the response was swift and unprecedented. Nations around the world, once divided by borders and ideologies, came together to form a global coalition. This alliance was a testament to humanity's ability to unite in the face of a common enemy. It was composed of the world's militaries, bolstered by the brightest scientific minds and supported by a civilian population ready to do whatever it took to defend our home. The coalition was our beacon of hope, a shining example of what we could achieve when we stood together. I, like many others, felt a deep personal call to action. The decision to join the resistance wasn't made lightly, but it was driven by a powerful desire to protect my home and the people I love. Sitting on the sidelines was no longer an option. This was our fight, and I needed to be a part of it. So I enlisted, offering whatever skills I could to the cause. The feeling of signing up was a mix of fear, pride, and determination. I wasn't alone in this. Everywhere, people were stepping forward, ready to contribute in any way they could. Our first encounters with the alien invaders were harrowing. The battles were tough, fought on the edges of cities and in rural landscapes that had once been peaceful. These skirmishes showcased the raw bravery of humanity, as well as the daunting technological superiority of our foes. Their weapons were unlike anything we had seen, capable of devastating destruction with pinpoint accuracy. But we had something they didn't: ingenuity and a fierce will to survive. I remember the first time I was involved in a skirmish. The air was thick with tension, the silence before the storm deafening. When the aliens advanced, it was like watching a nightmare come to life. But amid the fear, there was a palpable sense of resolve among us. We fought with everything we had, using guerrilla tactics and leveraging our knowledge of the terrain. The sight of a human fighter taking down an alien drone with improvised weapons was a powerful symbol of our resistance. Despite our bravery, the early encounters were a stark reminder of the challenge we faced. We suffered losses, each one a painful blow to our morale. But with each battle, we learned. Scientists and engineers would analyze any piece of alien technology we could recover, looking for weaknesses. Civilians provided support in the form of food, shelter, and medical care for the wounded. It was a collective effort, each person playing a vital role in the resistance. The global coalition began to coordinate more effectively, sharing intelligence and resources. Training programs were established, combining military expertise with survival skills. We learned to move silently, strike quickly, and vanish before the enemy could retaliate. It was a new kind of warfare, one that required adaptability and resilience. As we grew stronger, our tactics became more sophisticated. We launched coordinated attacks, targeting the aliens' supply lines and communication networks. Every victory, no matter how small, fueled our determination. The resistance was not just a military effort. It was a movement embodying the indomitable spirit. One particularly daring operation involved infiltrating an alien outpost to gather intelligence. I was part of the team selected for this mission, a mix of soldiers and civilians with specialized skills. The plan was risky, requiring us to move undetected through enemy territory. The tension was palpable as we approached the outpost, aware that the slightest mistake could mean disaster. What we found there was a turning point. Among the alien technology and data, we discovered vulnerabilities in their defenses, information that could give us an edge. The operation was a success, but it came at a cost. We lost good people that day, their sacrifice a stark reminder of the stakes. This newfound knowledge galvanized the resistance. Our strategies became more targeted, our attacks more effective. We began to push the invaders back, inch by hard-fought inch. The feeling of reclaiming a small piece of our world was indescribable, a mix of triumph and sorrow for those we had lost along the way. The resistance was more than just a military campaign. It was a symbol of our refusal to be conquered. We were a diverse group, united by a common goal. The global coalition had brought us together, but it was our shared experiences, our victories and losses, that forged us into a family. We were fighters, scientists and civilians, each of us playing a crucial role in the struggle for our planet's future. As we prepared for the next phase of the conflict, I couldn't help but reflect on how far we had come. From the initial shock and chaos to a coordinated global resistance, we had shown the invaders and ourselves what humanity was capable of. The road ahead was still long and uncertain, but one thing was clear: we were ready to face whatever came our way, together. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the resistance began to find its footing. We weren't just surviving. We were learning, adapting, and starting to take the fight back to the invaders. It wasn't our firepower or numbers that gave us an edge. It was our human ingenuity, our ability to think outside the box and come up with solutions that no one, especially not the aliens, could have anticipated. We became masters of guerrilla tactics, striking quickly and vanishing before the enemy could mount a counterattack. Our knowledge of the terrain, our ability to blend into the environment, and our unpredictability became our greatest weapons. But it was our technological creativity that truly began to turn the tide. Teams of scientists and engineers, many of whom had been rivals in the academic world, now worked tirelessly together, dissecting captured alien tech to understand and repurpose it for our use. One of the most groundbreaking achievements was the hacking of alien communication networks. It was a task deemed impossible by many, but through a combination of captured technology, reverse engineering, and sheer determination, we did it. This breakthrough allowed us to intercept and decode alien transmissions, giving us invaluable insight into their plans and movements. But perhaps our most unexpected strategy involved using the Earth's environment against the invaders. They had technology that could withstand our weapons, but they struggled with some of Earth's more extreme weather conditions. By luring them into traps set in the heart of tornadoes or the edges of volcanic eruptions, we managed to inflict significant damage. It was a testament to human resourcefulness, using every tool at our disposal, no matter how unconventional. Amidst this backdrop of ingenuity and resilience, I found myself at the heart of a mission that would become a symbol of hope for humanity. The aliens had developed a superweapon, capable of leveling cities with a single blast. Its deployment would have spelled certain doom for the resistance. The mission was clear: disable the weapon at all costs. The plan was audacious, requiring a small team to infiltrate the heavily guarded facility where the weapon was housed. I was chosen for the mission, not just for my skills, but for my ability to inspire those around me. We knew the risks were high, but the stakes were higher. As we made our way through enemy lines, disguised in stolen alien armor, the weight of our task weighed heavily on us. Failure was not an option. Through a combination of stealth, hacked alien tech, and a fair amount of luck, we managed to breach the facility's defenses. The interior was a labyrinth of alien technology, but we had one advantage. They didn't expect us to make it this far, guided by intelligence gathered from hacked communications. We navigated our way to the weapons control room. The final obstacle was a security system, unlike any we had encountered, a complex puzzle that required us to adapt and think like the aliens. It was a tense, grueling effort, with the knowledge that one mistake could doom us all. But in the end, human perseverance prevailed. We disabled the weapon, rendering it inert and effectively blinding the aliens to our next moves. The mission's success was a turning point in the conflict. News of the disabled superweapon spread like wildfire, a beacon of hope that galvanized the resistance. It showed that no matter how advanced the alien technology, it was no match for human ingenuity and determination. But more than that, it proved that we were not just fighting to survive, we were fighting to win. The mission became a symbol of what we could achieve when we worked together, leveraging our strengths and refusing to give in to despair. It was a message to the aliens as much as it was to ourselves. Humanity was not to be underestimated. In the aftermath of the mission, the resistance grew stronger. The morale boost provided by our success inspired others to join the fight, to contribute in whatever way they could. From the ruins of our cities and the ashes of defeat, we were building something new, a testament to our resilience and our unbreakable spirit. As we prepared for the next phase of the conflict, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought us here. From the shock and fear of the initial invasion to the unity and determination of the global resistance, we had come a long way. The road ahead was still fraught with challenges, but for the first time since the aliens arrived, there was a sense of hope, a belief that we could reclaim our planet and our future. And as I stood among my fellow resistance fighters, looking out at the determined faces of those ready to defend their home, I knew that we were part of something much larger than ourselves. We were part of a story that would be told for generations, a story of how, when faced with the greatest threat to our existence, humanity stood together and fought back, not just for survival, but for the very essence of what it means to be human. The air was thick with anticipation as we prepared for what would be the decisive battle in our fight against the alien invaders. The night before the attack was a surreal blend of quiet determination and underlying tension. Across the globe, fighters, both military and civilian, readied themselves for the confrontation that would decide the fate of Earth. Amidst the final checks on weapons and equipment, there were moments of profound connection. people sharing stories, fears, and hopes, understanding the gravity of the day that lay ahead. I spent that night among my fellow resistance fighters, the camaraderie we had built over months of struggle, a small comfort against the uncertainty of what was to come. We didn't need words to express our feelings. The resolve in each other's eyes spoke volumes. It was a night of silent pledges, of unspoken promises to fight with everything we had, for each other, for our planet. As dawn broke, messages of solidarity flooded in from every corner of the world. It wasn't just the fighters who were united. Humanity stood together, a collective force of will and spirit that stretched across continents. The global broadcast that linked us all echoed with voices of encouragement, a reminder that we were fighting for more than just survival. We were fighting for our home, for the future of our species. The battle itself was like nothing I had ever experienced. It was chaos and courage, fear and ferocity, all woven into the fabric of what felt like an endless day. The alien forces were relentless, their technology formidable, but we had something more powerful on our side: human ingenuity and the element of surprise. We used every tactic at our disposal, exploiting the weaknesses we had uncovered through hard-won knowledge and sheer determination. I found myself on the front lines, where the fighting was most intense. Around me, heroes were made in every moment, ordinary people performing extraordinary acts of bravery. We pushed forward, inch by painful inch, paying a heavy price for every bit of ground gained. The air was filled with the sounds of battle, the ground littered with the cost of our resistance. And then, amidst the cacophony of war, there came a moment of eerie silence, a collective pause as the realization dawned on us. We had done it. The alien command center, the heart of their operation on Earth, lay in ruins, effectively crippling their ability to wage war. It was a victory, hard-fought and won with the courage and sacrifice of countless individuals. But the joy of our triumph was tempered by the somber understanding of the price we had paid. The landscape was scarred by the ravages of battle, a testament to destruction wrought on our planet. And among the living, there was the weight of loss, the grief for comrades and loved ones who had laid down their lives so that others might live in peace. In the aftermath of the battle, as we gathered to honor those we had lost, there was a palpable sense of unity and resolve. We had faced the might of an alien force and emerged victorious, but our fight was not over. The task of rebuilding lay ahead, a challenge that would require the same resilience and cooperation that had brought us through the darkest days of the invasion. As I stood there, among the ranks of those who had fought for Earth's future, I felt a deep sense of pride and a renewed sense of purpose. We had proven to ourselves and to the universe that humanity was capable of great things when we stood together. The final stand had not just been a battle for survival. It had been a declaration of our spirit, our resilience, and our indomitable will. The victory was ours, but it was clear that the world would never be the same. We had glimpsed the vastness of the cosmos and the challenges it held, and we had learned invaluable lessons about ourselves in the process. As we looked to the future, to the task of healing and rebuilding, we did so with the knowledge that we were not just inhabitants of Earth. We were its guardians, united in our diversity, strengthened by our trials, and forever changed by the battle we had fought and won together. The dust settled. The silence that followed the chaos of battle was almost deafening. The world, our beautiful battered world, lay wounded yet resilient under a sky that had seen the greatest battle for survival humanity had ever faced. The war against the alien invaders was over. We had won, but at a cost that would take generations to fully comprehend. The cities that once teemed with life were now scarred landscapes, monuments to our defiance and determination. But amidst the devastation, there was hope, a flicker of light in the darkness that promised a new dawn for Earth and its inhabitants. A process of healing and rebuilding was slow, painstakingly so. Every cleared rubble, every rebuilt home, and every planted seed was a testament to our unbreakable spirit. It was a time of unity like never before, as people from all corners of the globe came together, not just to rebuild, but to forge a new path forward. The bonds formed in the crucible of war were unshakable, binding us together with a newfound respect for life and our planet. We had faced annihilation and survived. And in doing so, we had learned the true value of our home and of each other. Communities that had once been defined by their differences now celebrated their diversity, understanding that it was this very diversity that had been key to our survival. The world was no longer a patchwork of nations competing for resources and power, but a united front, a single global community with a shared experience and a common goal, to ensure that never again would we be caught unprepared, never again would we stand on the brink of extinction. As we rebuilt, we also remembered. Memorials sprang up in every city, every town, dedicated to those who had given their lives for our future. These were sacred places where people came not just to mourn, but to find solace in the collective memory of our shared struggle. The names of the fallen were etched in stone, a reminder of the price of freedom and the cost of victory. In the aftermath of the invasion, my perspective, like that of so many others, had irrevocably changed. The things I had once taken for granted, family, friends, the simple beauty of a sunrise, now held a deeper meaning. The invasion had stripped away the trivialities of life, revealing the core of what it truly means to be human, our capacity for love, for sacrifice, and for resilience in the face of unimaginable odds. Humanity's outlook on the universe had shifted as well. No longer did we look to the stars with naive fascination, but with a sober understanding of the vastness of space and the potential dangers it held. Yet, this awareness did not dampen our spirit of exploration. Rather, it fueled it, armed with a knowledge gained from the alien technology and united by a common purpose. We looked to the stars not as conquerors, but as curious, resilient explorers, eager to find our place in the cosmic community. The invasion had taught us the importance of being prepared, of never underestimating the value of our home and the life it nurtures. It had shown us the strength that lies in unity and the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of challenges. We had been tested, and we had emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to defend Earth and to explore the unknown with respect and humility. As I reflect on the journey from the first ominous message of the invaders to the slow, ongoing process of healing and rebuilding, I am filled with a sense of pride and a bit of awe at what we accomplished. We had faced the darkest of times, fought the hardest of battles, and emerged victorious. The scars we bore were not just reminders of our past, but symbols of our enduring strength and unity. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and opportunities alike, but one thing was clear. Whatever lay ahead, we would face it together as one humanity, bound by our shared experience and driven by our collective hope for a better tomorrow. The stars once seemed distant and unattainable, but now they were within our reach, beckoning us forward into a new era of exploration and discovery. And as we looked to the horizon, ready to take our first steps into the vast expanse of space, we did so not just as survivors of a war, but as guardians of our world, ready to protect, to learn, and to grow.